Yeah, what's the word? Leroy, what's the
Let's start with something that gets misunderstood in education all the time. Fun is not fluff. I'm going to say that again. Fun is not fluff. Because somewhere along the way, we created this idea that if students are laughing, moving, talking, enjoying the lesson, then it must not be rigorous. We hear it all the time. That's just a game. That's just an activity. When are they actually learning? But here's the truth. Engagement is not the opposite of rigor. It's the pathway to it. Now, let's be real. There is a problem sometimes. The issue is not that teachers are using activities. The issue is when activities are used without purpose. Because a worksheet can be low level, and a game can be low level too. At the same time, a discussion can be high level, and an activity can be high level. It all comes down to one thing: thinking. If students are thinking deeply, it's rigorous. If they're not, it's fluff. Let me show you what that looks like in real time. Picture a classroom where students are working on vocabulary. They're matching words to definitions. It's quiet. It looks focused. But if we're honest, there's not much thinking happening. Now imagine a different version. Students are working in pairs. One student has to act out a word. The other has to guess it. But they don't just guess. They have to explain why. I think the word is predict because you were showing what might happen next. Now you've got movement, you've got laughter, you've got engagement, but more importantly, you've got thinking. Same content, completely different level of learning. Let's take another example. Students are solving math problems. They answer, move on, answer, move on. Some are getting it, some are guessing. Some are just trying to finish. Now shift it slightly. Students solve the problem. But before they move on, they have to turn to a partner and explain how they got their answer. Now something changes. Students have to process. They have to organize their thinking. They have to communicate it. And here's what happens. You start hearing things like, "Oh, wait, I did that wrong." Or, "That's not how I got it. Let me show you mine." Now the learning just got deeper. Or picture this. Instead of asking for the correct answer, you ask, which answer is wrong and why? Now students are analyzing. They're not just trying to be right. They're trying to understand. That's the shift. Or think about a lesson where students just finished reading something. Traditionally, we might ask them to answer questions quietly at their desk. But now imagine this. You ask a question like, was the character's decision the right one? Instead of raising hands, students move to different parts of the room based on what they believe. Then they have to defend it, using evidence, using reasoning, listening to others. Now they're not just reading, they're thinking, they're debating, they're engaging with the text at a deeper level. Or imagine students learning about a historical event. They read about it, take notes, maybe answer a few questions. Now shift it. They take on roles. One student is a leader, another is a citizen. Another sees things completely differently. Now they respond to a question from that perspective. All of a sudden, they're not just memorizing facts. They're understanding viewpoints. They're analyzing decisions. They're connecting ideas. That's powerful. Or even something simple. Students solve a problem and post their work around the room. Then they walk around looking at each other's thinking. But here's the key. They don't just look, they respond. I agree with this because I solved it differently by I'm not sure about this step. Now you've got reflection. You've got analysis. You've got engagement. And none of that is fluff. That's learning. So what's really the difference in all of these situations? It's not the activity itself. It's what the activity requires from students. Are they explaining? Are they justifying? Are they analyzing? Are they creating? Or are they just completing something? That's the line. And here's where things can go wrong. Sometimes we focus so much on making something fun that we lose the learning. Too many directions, too much structure, not enough thinking. Students are busy, but they're not learning. That's when fun becomes fluff. So how do we avoid that? It starts with being intentional. Before you plan the activity, ask yourself, what do I want students to learn? Not, what would they enjoy? Because enjoyment should come from the learning, not replace it. Then ask, what thinking do I want them to do? If the answer is unclear, the activity probably is too. Keep it simple. If it takes 5 or 10 minutes to explain, you've already lost momentum. Clear directions, quick start, immediate engagement. Make sure every student is involved, not just the ones who always participate. Everyone should have something to say, something to write, something to think about. And then the most important part, bring it back together. Ask, what did we learn? How did we figure it out? What did you notice? Because without that step, it just feels like something they did, not something they learned. And as leaders, this matters for us too. Because when we walk into classrooms, we have to check our lens. If we see movement, noise, and energy, we can't automatically assume it's off task. We have to ask, what are students doing? What are they thinking about? What is the learning here? Because some of the strongest classrooms don't look quiet. They look alive. So let's bring it back. Fun is not fluff, but fun without purpose is. The goal is not to entertain students. The goal is to engage them in meaningful learning that challenges their thinking and helps them grow. So here's the question I'll leave you with. Are your activities helping students think deeper or just keeping them busy? Because when they're done well, activities don't take away from rigor. They elevate it. And that's where real learning happens.
Yeah, what's the bird? Lee, boy, what's the bird? Leroy, hey, what's the bird? Lee, boy, what's the bird? Leroy, hey.